There is confusion and concern this morning in Gaza, where more than 1 million people have been told to head south within 24 hours ahead of a planned ground offensive by the Israeli forces. Hamas is saying that this is propaganda and telling citizens to stay in place. Hamas is the terrorist organization which governs the Gaza Strip, and Israel's efforts to eradicate that group have now forced more than 400,000 Palestinians to flee their homes so far. For more on Hamas and its motivations, we are joined by the University of Ottawa's Costanza Musu. She's the Associate Professor at the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs. Good to have you with us for this conversation.
Good morning.
You know, the swift and coordinated and brutal attack on Saturday against Israeli citizens shocked the world. What is Hamas's endgame here?
Well, I think at this point, it appears what is becoming clear is that Hamas' objective seems to be to actually provoke a massive response, the one that we are seeing getting prepared right now. And the fact, as you indicated just a second ago, that they're asking civilians to stay in place, honestly, to me, looks like they do want more civilian casualties, this time among Gazan residents, because asking them to stay in place when we know that the ground attack is about to come means that they do basically want the civilian population to be there as human shields.
We know that more than 1,500 citizens have died in Gaza just since Saturday in this attack. But what does Hamas stand to gain by this retaliation from Israel? If they were provoking an attack to see so many citizens at risk, you know, we're looking at these pictures here. This is what areas look like. People can't move, and there's people buried under this rubble.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think in order to understand Hamas' approach to all this, we have to remember that the objective of Hamas is not a negotiated settlement with Israel. The objective of Hamas is the elimination of the state of Israel. And so I think if we think about that as a premise, we realize that the probably one of the objectives is that of creating on the international front an inevitable condemnation of the Israeli operation, because it's going to make so many civilian casualties, given the nature of the Gaza Strip, its geography, the way it's so densely populated, and also possibly regionally a conflagration, and certainly the support coming to the Palestinians, a renewed support from neighboring Arab states. So this creates basically an array of bad choices on the part of Israel, because Israel needs to respond to the attack that took place last week. You know, its citizens are asking for a response, and at the same time, you know, we've seen the international community say that Israel has a right to respond. But how do you respond? How do you defend yourself in an area like Gaza? It's really an impossibility. A ground invasion will essentially turn into urban warfare,
yes, door
to door, street to street. How can that be done without civilian casualties? It's literally impossible. So, as I said, it's really an impossible array of bad solution and bad responses.
Costanza, we are all watching this situation closely as that countdown clock ticks on to this 24-hour deadline to get out before ground forces move in. And as you describe it, this will be person-to-person combat at that point. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.